Hey everybody, I'm going to go over the notebook for investigation 3, week 3. What are we made of? So this is all about animal cells or human cells. We're still learning about how every organism is made of one or more cells. We're learning about how cells are living and do all the characteristics of life. And we're learning about the parts of a cell and this job each part does. Why is it important? Well, every single living thing on Earth is made of cells. Cells are how living things eat, breathe, move, and heal. Once you understand the parts of the cell and what they do, you'll be able to understand much better how living things manage to do all the characteristics of life and how these tiny structures are at work, keeping you alive and healthy as well. Next week, we'll finish this whole investigation by doing an analogy of a cell, demonstrating how it is like a city, a farm, or another large system. So the first thing you need to do is watch the human cheek cell demonstration. It will show you how you can do a cheek scraping. By the way, this person is not breaking the skin or harming themselves in any way. They are just rubbing a toothpick. Here, I've got to skip this ad. They rub a toothpick. It takes off some cells from inside the cheek. They come off very easily. Smears it on a slide, looks at it under the microscope. What does it look like? It looks like cells. Cells are very clear. Can't see much going on, except that you can see there is a dot in each of the cells that you can kind of make out. There's a large dot in each cell. There's a lot of cells. I mean, he just scraped his cheek and got probably thousands of cells on that little toothpick. So there's it compared to a millimeter. Human cheek cells are 50 to 60 micrometers long, or microns. It's a thousandth of a millimeter. I like it better when he stains it blue because you can sort of start to see the cell structures a little bit better. Okay, that dark blue cell structure in the middle is very important. It holds the DNA, it's the nucleus. And we're kind of keeping our eye out, and if we see anything else, we see the cell membrane, which is the outside of the cell. Here I see some bacteria swimming around. That's about it. There's cytoplasm inside, as we know, which is the liquid inside. That's about it. Okay. So what does this investigation suggest about what your body's made of? Well, just by scraping his cheek with a toothpick, he got out thousands of cells. So it suggests that we're made of so many cells, trillions of cells. Do you think all cells in the human body are the same? Are all the cells just like your cheek cells? No, obviously we have blood cells, right? They look different. We have skin cells. We have all these immune fighting cells that kids in my class brought up. T cell, neutrophil, brain cells are different. Brain cells look like little trees with roots and branches, right? And then stem cells is a whole other thing. So there's all different kinds of cells in the body. If all the cells in the human body are living, how do they get resources such as food, water, and oxygen? How does all those resources flow from once you eat them to every single cell in your body? Like you eat a cheeseburger, how does that get to my toes, right? How does it get to the tips of my fingers, right? A cheeseburger doesn't flow through my body. The stomach breaks it down into tiny little molecules, and then it flows into the bloodstream. And then the bloodstream carries it all over. When I inhale oxygen into my lungs, then it enters the bloodstream and it gets carried all over my body. It has been suggested all life is aquatic. How do you think that applies to humans? We don't swim in the water. We don't live underwater. We don't have gills, right? But our cells are surrounded by liquid. In our bodies, right? People say we're about 75% water. I guess as you get older, the number can kind of go down. So that's kind of weird, but we're mostly water. Our bodies are mostly water. What cell structures could you see in the cheek cells? We could see those dark blue dots, which are the nucleus, the nuclei. We could see the cell membranes. We could see cytoplasm. There's the internal jelly. Okay. In class, I challenged people to figure out what functions you could answer all by yourself in a chart. So you should challenge yourself and see if you can answer 1, 2, or 3 of the functions all by yourself without looking at your notes or Googling it. Could you tell me what the function of the nucleus is? Could you tell me what the function of the cell membrane is? Take a guess. Give it a try. Actually, make your brain do some work here before you look at all the answers or look up the answers. Okay? So we've got a cell membrane protects the cell, creates a barrier. Cytoplasm, it's that jelly-like substance, holds all the structures. Endoplasmic reticulum makes proteins and parts of the cell membrane. Lysosome digests waste, attacks invaders. Mitochondria makes energy, ATP from sugars. Powers all of the cell processes. Nucleus controls all activities, contains DNA. Ribosome makes proteins. Vacuole stores nutrients. The analogy is where you use your creativity. So for your Cell City project, think about what you might want to do. How is the cell like a farm? How is the cell like Star Wars? How is it like Harry Potter? How is the cell like your favorite video game? And think about analogies that you could come up with for that. And that's you're going to fill that in on your own. So use your creativity to fill in some analogies. If you're really stuck, you could look at last week's notebook or last week's video where we did a school. So how was a cell like a school? Well, we said there is something that lets some things in and keeps other things out. It would be just doors. Cytoplasm holds all the structures. In a school, I think we just did the walls and the halls. So you use your creativity to answer the analogy. Okay, you're going to read an article about cells and listen to the audiobook at the same time if you want it to read to you. You're going to answer this question number 1 from page 23. You need to look up the answer. Question number 2, I did it with you in class because this is a big question that has an important answer, and I want to make sure you have that. So how are eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells different? Eukaryotic cells are things like animals, plants, and protists. Prokaryotic cells are things like bacteria. So how are they similar and how are they different? Well, both are cells. They all have cell membranes, ribosomes, DNA, pili, cilia, flagella. But there are some big differences. Prokaryotes are very simple. They don't have any fancy organelles. They don't have a nucleus. They don't have an endoplasmic reticulum. The eukaryotes, like us, or eukaryotes, you have fancy organelles in your cells. What's an organelle? It's a tiny little organ, a tiny little structure. Like the nucleus, that's an organelle. And eukaryotes can be single or multi-celled. Like you have many cells. But a protist is also a eukaryote because it has fancy cell structures. You're going to see that in the article. And then you need to answer this one on your own using the pages 26 to 27 in the article. So the article's right here. That's what you're going to do. Okay? Read that. All right. Ready to defeat the evil Dr. Vile? Click here to play the Cell Explorer game. Your goal is to do one of the missions in the game. You do not need to do all 4. I want to see that you've tried to do one of the missions. Okay, then you're going to insert a screenshot of your score sheet. I'll show you how to do one of the easier missions. Mission 2. I like to close all the ads. They're annoying. It's a bit of an old game. A little glitchy. A little slow. I still want you to give it a try. So starting again. You're this little spaceship and you're kind of like trying to actually save the cell by shooting the cell structures. You should click no, even though you're on a Chromebook with a touchscreen, because you're going to want to use your keyboard keys. So you are a top secret I don't know, explorer. And your goal is to prevent Dr. Ernest Lee Vile from destroying life by destroying cells. So you're defending the cells. You're going to be piloting a special cell exploration vehicle because you're the best pilot around. Good luck and be careful. The cell is a dangerous place. So you use your up, down, left, right keys, and you use the space bar to shoot. And you can zoom really fast by holding down A or Control. I think mission 2 is a little easier. So shoot the organelle that breaks down poisons. This is actually talking about the cell membrane, or the ER. It makes lipids, which are parts of the cell membrane. So we gotta shoot the smooth ER. Be careful that, see that lysosome? It's trying to get you. Shoot the organelle that transports materials around the cell to where they need to go. A vesicle. Vesicles usually seem to be hanging out over here. Okay. Now I need to shoot the organelle with the genetic material inside of it. Oops, there's a lysosome. I need to get some energy. Look, my ATP is starting to run low. I need to get away from that lysosome. And I need to shoot the nucleus because it stores genetic material. Shoot the organelle covered in ribosomes involved in transporting proteins. Shoot the organelle that's full of enzymes for digesting and destroying foreign objects. That's a lysosome. It's trying to destroy me. Shoot the structure that helps maintain internal structure and gives shape. I'm looking for something called the cytoskeleton. Here's cytoskeleton. Makes proteins. Now I'm looking for a ribosome. Shoot the organelle that receives vesicles. Oh, I needed some ATP. And ships their contents out. Okay, I'm looking for the Golgi. See, is there one down here? Yes. Well done. Shoot the semi-permeable barrier that separates the cell from the external environment. That's the cell membrane. Well done. Which organelle makes usable energy? The mitochondria. All right. See, that's my mission. So now I'm going to go ahead and exit. Boop, 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 boop. Packages me off and sends me away. Out the cell membrane. Zoop. Okay. So now I've done one mission. I did okay, 77%, good enough. I put in my name. Take a screenshot. Control-Shift-4. Highlight the area. And then I'm going to insert this into my notebook. Okay, I go to Insert. My toolbar. Insert. Image. Upload from computer. Again, I put it in here. Okay. If you really struggle with mission 2, mission 4, you're just building a cell. It's a little easier. In mission 3, you're defending a cell structure. So there's like these little attack ships and you've got to shoot them. Yeah, so give one of them a try. And I do want to see that you attempted to do one. So screenshot when you finish with at least one mission. And pop it in here, okay? Email me if you have any questions. I'm here to help you. And yeah, that's about it for the science notebook for this week. So let me know if you need any help. And otherwise, I will see you soon. Bye.